Well, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning on this Monday after Christmas. We are finally in the Christmas season. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is indeed an excellent day to serve an excellent God in and with the spirit of excellence. Coach Sherry, Chaplain Sherry, your community pastor Sherry. Sherry from the 800 block of Mooney Avenue, the unmuted one. Good morning. I know it has been some time since we have been here, but listen, I took a pause from the mornings because I was doing the night advent on Zoom. So if you missed that, we did not carry it live. We did not produce any recordings, but listen, um, we had an excellent time. Those who came for the 4 weeks of Advent. But guess what? We are here this morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever your case may be. Look, I am just glad that you are here. I'm glad that I'm here. Being off these days, so much has happened. So much has happened. Good, bad, and ugly. But guess what? The testimony is that millions didn't make it, but I am one of the ones who did. And I am not by any stretch of the imagination bragging um that I am still here. And I am not saying that those who, for whatever reason, are not here, that they did something wrong and I did so much right. I have sense enough to know it is strictly because of the grace of God. So, good morning. When you come in this space, please come in and say good morning, good afternoon, good all of those things, and let me know that you are here, because it is certainly good to be here. If it's your first time by any chance coming in this space, you're going to see me applying makeup. You're going to see me applying makeup, but this has nothing to do with makeup's tools, tips, or techniques. It's just me doing what I am doing while I'm talking to you. And I got some new products. I'm not going to be using them all here, but the crown jewel of my good friend Pastor Angela Shannon, got me some new products and new makeup, and I can't wait to get in this eyeshadow palette from Juvia's Place. I can't wait to get in. Beautiful, beautiful colors. Um, a lot of glitter, right? A lot of glitter, so a lot of nighttime work. So I'm gonna have to find somewhere to go at the nighttime so I can wear um my new products. And I have so much more that she got me. So good morning again. I am Coach Sherry Chaplain Sherry, your community pastor Sherry. I'm Sherry from the 800 block of Mooney Avenue. I am the unmuted one. I am the woman who grew up in one of the most conservative Black Baptist denominations that taught that women ought to be seen and not heard. That women, they took seriously Paul's statement in 1 Corinthians 14:34 that women ought to be silent in the church. I'm the woman who learned that and then went about teaching it. And I am the woman who persecuted other women, um, especially those women who were called to preach. But I am also the woman who knows what it means to be in that bondage. I know what it means to be in that bondage of silence. But stick with me because today, as the unmuted one, I am the woman who is on a mission to help women just like that who remain in those spaces, who have a call of God on their life, who are called to preach, teach, or reach. Now, listen, I'm not asking everybody to preach. Ain't nothing worse than a preacher, a person that's preaching ain't supposed to be doing so. But if by chance you are, good morning, LaShawn, good morning, Miss Wu, good morning. Listen, would you like, share, and tag and bring other people in? Good morning. Healing Grill, good morning, all of my reclaimers of your voice. That's what I am on a mission to help women to reclaim their voices, to stop playing small, to stop shrinking, to stop keeping peace so other people can be all right. But you are suffering yourself. So listen, I'm that woman. And so this morning, as they say in the church, because in the Black Baptist church, because I still got a lot of that in me, but I know how to regulate it. I know how to regulate it. Is that many people are making New Year's resolutions. And we're on the, you're going to save your money. You're going to lose weight. You're going to, exercise, all of those things. But can I tell you, if you don't have a plan, you're already setting yourself up for silence. And listen, I get so into this that I forget I'm really supposed to be applying makeup. So I gotta get this. And I haven't had on makeup since in some days. So I may be a little bit rusty, but we're gonna see what we can come up with, because the goal is not perfection over here. The goal is to simply determine what's good enough for me. Because you know what? Perfection is a dream killer. Let me just say that. Perfection is a dream killer, which is another reason why we can't keep those resolutions, because we're looking for perfection. So one of the reasons why we fail, we certainly don't make 30 days. So if we can get 7 days, that's good, right? But one of the reasons why we fail and those resolutions go down is because we don't know why. We don't know our why. We don't know why we want to save money. We don't know why we want to exercise. We don't know why we want to eat better. We don't know our why. And so if you don't know your why, if you don't know your purpose, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up for failure. I'm just going to go ahead on and tell you, you're setting yourself up for failure. If you do not know your why, if you don't have a reason, if you don't have a purpose, you're not going to, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. So you got to know your why. You got to plan wisely, and you got to see the end before the end gets there. Did you hear me? You have to know your why. You have to plan wisely, and you have to see it before you see it. That's going to be your winning strategy. You have to move differently. In other words, you have to pivot with purpose. You got to pivot with purpose. You got to pivot with purpose. Can I get you to repeat after me? Pivot with purpose. You got to pivot with purpose. Pivoting is not a sudden move. It is not a radical move. It is not an impulsive move. It is a spirit led strategic process. Did you hear me? Pivoting is not impulsive. It is not sudden, but it is strategic. It is seeing the new thing that God is doing. It is planning wisely, and it is carrying forward what is good. Now, my driving scripture is Isaiah 43:18 and 19. Do not remember the former things or consider the things of old. I am about to do a new thing. Now it springs up, it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? Can't you not see it? So if we're going to do something different, if we are going to keep our resolve, it's going to require us to move strategically, to move different. So when I look at this particular text, pivoting begins with a vision. It begins with your wife, your why. So if you want to save money, why? What's behind that? because that's going to be your driving force. If you want to purchase a home and you want to save money, and you have to have, uh, and you got to get that credit right. It's not about the money. It is not about the credit. It is about the goal of the house. You have to see yourself in your house. You have to see yourself picking out your colors. Go to the paint store and pick out your swatches of your colors, because that is your why. And bring your color swatches and put them around where you're living now. That is your why. So when you are dropping your coins in your bank, it is not about saving the money. It is about the house. So pivoting begins with a vision of where God is working. I see you with me, Miss LaShawn. I see you with me, preacher. Yes. If we're going to do this thing, we're going to do it. Do you not perceive it? Can't you not visualize it? Can't you not visualize it? And then, oh man, I'm trying to get all these things together here. You got to visualize it. So here's my question. What signs of God's work do you perceive around you? Where is God working? Where is the vision? Where is that? Because you're not starting from ground zero. Based upon this text, it says, I'm about to do a new thing. Can't you see it? You've got to see it before you see it. So you got to see that vision. You got to have that why. You got to, we're moving with purpose. We're moving with purpose. Here's the second thing. So you're going to perceive the promise. Good morning, Apostle. Good morning, Leah. Good morning. So you got to perceive the promise. And then the second thing is you got to prepare the path. In other words, passion is not enough. You've got to have a strategy. Keeping your New Year's resolution, moving differently, pivoting is strategic, which means you need a plan. And since we're on we're using the example of buying the house, that's the vision, the house. Saving the money is how you get the house. But you must have a plan in place. You must have a budget, a strategy of even how to save the money. So my grandpa used to always tell us in his 6th grade education, if you have 20 cents and you try to put 15 cents in the bank, or save 15 cents, but you're always going back to get a penny a day, that ain't working for you. Save 5 cents and work with so therefore the 5 cent will keep building. What is your strategy? What is your move? What is your plan? What is your plan? What is your strategy in your move? You know your why. You can see it, but you got to get there. So pivot requires more than passion. Habakkuk 2 and 2 tells us what? Write the vision, make it plain. And if you're like me, I got to get some tablets. I got to get some pens and papers, and I got to move. Good morning, Elder TJ. We're talking about, you know what I talk about? Pivoting with purpose. Listen, I just need y'all in this free space to like, share, and tag. Don't keep this goodness to yourself. If you're finding value here, I need you to go ahead on. Yes, 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 yes. Planning includes prayer, seeking wisdom and counsel from others, and setting small, faithful steps. In other words, if you can't save 15 cents out of your quarter, just say the 5 cents. Because Grandpa also said that a steady drop would be the hole in concrete. That's what my grandpa said. A steady drop. If you just keep dropping it, it may take you longer, but the end is going to be successful. So when we're talking about resolving to do, what is your plan? So here's my question to you. Here's my question to you. What practical steps can you take to align your plan with God's purpose? See, they got to meet. You can't just start doing something and ask God to bless it. You see where God is moving, you get in that plan, and you move in that direction, and God won't have no problems. So when you say delight yourself in the Lord, delight yourself, put yourself in the move that God is already moving. Ooh, wait, I gotta get out this door. So what practical steps can you take? And don't worry about anybody else's plan, any other person's steps. Mm-mm. Don't worry about somebody else's moves. Work your plan, work your vision, work the plan that God has for you. And here is a big one. You got to preserve the precious. In other words, pivoting and moving differently is not abandoning everything from the past. Can I tell you that everything from the past, all traditions are not bad? Mm. All traditions are not bad. But what happens is, if we begin to idolize the tradition and idolize the past so much so that we get stuck, we are unable to move in the way that God is moving. We know that God had Moses to bring the people through the Red Sea, and he dried up the Red Sea. But can I just tell you that in this season, God may not be drying up no Red Sea. And if you're waiting for the Red Sea to be dried, You're going to be stuck right there. In fact, you're going to drown in the Red Sea because God is not moving that way. We cannot get so stuck in the way that God used to that we miss where God is moving. I just need to tell you that. Can I tell you that? You preserve the lessons, you preserve the relationships, you preserve the traditions that still bring life, that still bring life. If it's no longer bringing you life, if there's no stirring in the water there, you leave that alone. I know I'm right. I know I'm right. I'll just let that dry right there for a minute before I start really messing with it. So, what what in your history is worth carrying? What is worth carrying with you as you move into your new? Now, some of it is going to require you to get rid of some things, some people, and some places that you hold dear. And that's where many of us mess up. That right there is where many people mess up and they get stuck and they quit. Because the mama gave it to them, the grandparents, the aunties, the church, somebody gave it to you that you hold dear. And it does not mean that it was not right in that season, but you just can't take it with you when you go. So I got to go. I got to finish up here. Here's an action step for you. We want to remember that pivoting is a faithful, deliberate, it's intentional, and it's a strategic move. You're going to perceive where God is calling you. You're going to prepare with prayerful planning. And you're going to preserve what is life-giving. If it's death dealing, we don't want it. You're going to perceive, prepare, and preserve. So here's your homework. Write one sentence describing the new thing God is calling you toward. Make that your resolve. That thing that God is calling you to, make that your resolve. I want you to list 2 small steps you can take to move forward. Just 2 small steps. We're doing this in example before we even get to January 1st. So when January 1st comes, we already know what we're doing. And then name one good thing from your past that you want to carry forward. Listen, that's all I got. But like, share, tag. That's all I'm asking. And I want to leave us with this closing. God of wisdom and vision, we thank you for guiding us through the seasons of change. Help us to perceive the promise of your new thing, to prepare the path with prayer and planning, and to preserve the precious gifts that still give us life. Grant us courage to pivot with faith, wisdom to honor what is good, and trust you that you are making a way even in the wilderness. In Jesus' name, amen and ashe. Y'all be blessed and may all be well with your day. I got to finish up here. Bye bye.